There's no way I'm in frame, is there?
My screws. My screws.
All right. So it's kind of late, so I'm gonna try and be a little quiet rather than I get kicked out of my own parking spot. As you can tell, there's a lot of other cars around here. It's kind of a public place. Tonight, I'm gonna try, fingers crossed, I'm gonna try and do not all of this. This looks awful. But one of these plugs, I don't know which one. I'm gonna have to just keep plugging until I find one that works. One of these plugs goes to the back of this. Previous owner removed it to put in some switches, which are cool, but unfortunately, I would like to have switches while maintaining the original tombstone, and he cut a hole out of the original tombstone to put the switches in. In order to use the original tombstone, I need to get the plug. So I got this off at Yahoo Auctions for 2,000 yen. It's about $20, and it was like another 500 yen, $5 shipped to me. And it came up in 2 days. Absolutely amazing. Whole engine wiring harness. While we're at it, we're gonna go ahead and install the center console bit that's missing and the leather boot for the e-brake. All right, let's give it a go. Went ahead and took some of this off earlier to see what was underneath. It looks like it's just a metal cover over the stock tombstone, and the part around the gear shift I suspect is completely custom. I'll disconnect the battery after this. That's all there is to it. Can't figure out how to disconnect the negative terminal. Positive has a bolt. It's pretty clear. You unscrew this bolt and you lift up. It's that simple, right? Negative, there's like, it's like covered over. It's like sealed. I don't get it. Okay, let's have to do some more Googling. All right, so an interesting thing about these Miatas, I don't know if it's the same way in the States, but it's definitely the case here, because a couple of them that I looked at seem to have the same problem. It doesn't really say what is positive and what is negative. I had to look it up. There's no red marker, there's no plus sign. The negative one is up against the insulation, and the positive is the one that's closer with the gray covering, not a red covering, a gray covering. So I'm going to go ahead and disconnect the battery here before I start cutting wires up front. Don't mind the rust. All I'm trying to do is replace some plastic parts, but in order to cut the switches, I'd rather do it with the battery removed. I don't know if that's necessary or not, but I'm pretty sure it's necessary, and you should always exercise safe electrical practices when working on your car. But it looks like there's a 10 mil that pulls the terminal right off the positive, just like I expected. On the negative, there's like a sheath over it, and it's all like kind of, it seems like it's rusted, sealed up. I'll put a picture so you can see what I'm talking about. I'll do some Googling and reattack this weekend, I think. Yeah. Not a good feeling. So it's the weekend. The last two attempts were obviously a fail. Hopefully this time I can get the battery off I suspect that there is a bolt on the negative terminal on the other side of the terminal, so I'm hoping that if I can pull the positive out, then I can pull the whole battery out and get to the other side of the negative. Then I can disconnect the battery and we'll be on our way and we can get to the hard part. So it's a 10mm bolt. Let's see. Well, I guess we'll be going with this one. Alright, so this is the part where I figured out what you all probably been screaming at your screens the whole time. I disconnected the positive, so I should have cut the circuit to the harness, which is all I'm trying to do anyway. I'm not trying to switch out the battery. I'll figure out this battery stuff later. I know it's really basic, but I haven't done it very much, so I'm nervous. Certainly not a bad battery with all this metal around it. Yeah, so let's just check and see if there's any power to the ignition. Then I can be on my way. There we go. So the gear shift, the gear knob is broken. It just slides off. There's paper in there. Yeah, so the threads are actually stuck on the stick, gear stick. Anyway, yeah, so I'm gonna try and get that off. The easiest way to get the eyeball vents out is to just take a screwdriver, a flathead, I guess it doesn't really matter. You go in this inner one and you pop it like that, and it pulls this whole part out here. And that allows you to get the bolts that I've just removed there, and one on the other side. But it's still attached somewhere over here. So we're gonna look at our new one and see what it is. So there's those. So these look like some kind of sliding. You probably slide these out. I'm guessing there's bolts that slide out there. These are bolts maybe here. So I'm gonna look for something like that on this other one, and we'll see how it goes. All right, so it wasn't some extra bolts. It was just this pin here was in that hole, and it just pops out. I was just being a wimp about it. So there you go. And here we are. We got the tombstone out. Now we can start messing with cords. The video thing really slows this whole process down. Okay, so one of these plugs needs to fit in here, and then I'm gonna cut it off of this harness and splice it to those cords, maybe, unless those cords are extra too. We'll see. Because I don't want splices to go into the splices. So I have to find out which one of these fits. So looking at the pattern, I think this is obviously a no-go, no-go, no-go. This one maybe. This is hard to do one-handed, huh? So this one looks right, but I think it's too big. These are obviously all no-goes. Okay, let's try this one. There we go. That's the one. So I need to cut these. This is where the electrical part is going to get kind of confusing. So this is what I had. And this one was the hazards, and this one was the pop-ups. And you can see these are two little black cords, and these are three cords of different colors. I don't even have a white cord here. So I get that as long as the voltage is the same and the wires are the same, they should splice into each other, no problem. But what I'm a little concerned about is I'm gonna get my wires crossed, make my hazards my pop-ups, or maybe, I don't know, start a fire, I'm not sure. So I'm gonna go look in there and see what I'm working with in there. Holy crap! Okay, so I might be completely crazy, but I don't think I am. It looks like this is the plug I need. I thought he had cut it out of the harness, but he just wired it to the plug. I'm so mad. I didn't have to buy I bought a whole engine harness. I didn't need to. Yeah, that's the plug. Look at that. Good news is it makes my job really easy. The bad news is all this procrastination, everything, all this worry I had about cutting wires and figuring it all out, and the time I spent doing this is all absolutely wasted. Also, this is crazy. All right, so I'm gonna remove this. I'm gonna plug this in. I'm gonna, oh wait, you know what? Let's mess with this first. Yeah, this isn't even installed. It's just sitting in here. So, let's see if these brackets I gotta work, or at least make it more secure. I mean, seriously, look at this. It's just cardboard stuffed in here, and instead of radio brackets, there's nothing. So I got these brackets. They're supposed to be side brackets for the radio, but I don't see any way to mount these in here. They've got these little pins. It might actually be a job for another day, which sucks. All right, so I took this bracket off because it looked like it was kind of custom done. Like it's got just screws just drilled through the brace here. I thought it was something that the other guy did, but it looks like I need it to mount to this part right here. This goes to here. Wow, that actually is a really good angle. That works. Windy. Okay, so I've got the shift boot rebuild kit here, and I am going to try and just mess with this here. I got some time still, so let's give this a go. This is obvious. These two I'm not so sure. I might have to YouTube some stuff, but it should be all right. All right, so this is interesting. These bolts look like they rusted on the underside, on the transmission side, I guess. So I might just replace these later. I don't have replacements right now, but it was really hard to unthread the whole time. It didn't get loose like it should, and I guess it's because the threads are just kind of messed up. But I think I can get them back in. All right, so it's unscrewed. I guess it should just come off. Oh, yeah, sure enough. And, ooh, that's dirty. Okay. So, yeah, it's all torn up. And here's what we're working with. I think I'm gonna want gloves. Okay, so, yeah, I probably should have YouTubed this before I tried this. I've got the shift rebuild kit from NA Miata. And in order to install it all the way, I have to take this part off, and then there's fluid in there that I have to drain out and replace, which I don't have the ability to do right now. So I'm just gonna put the new boot over the top, and then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna finish this. Probably the same time that I deal with this. Yeah. All right, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if I did this right, but I just pulled it over the handle. You have to pry it a little bit, it's kind of tight. Just kind of stuffed it down in there. It's got elastic on the bottom, so I guess that just kind of sits there. I guess that's cool. I need to replace this too, because, well, yeah, the V-spec wooden accents were cool. After 30 years, it hasn't exactly aged well. So I'm gonna try and modernize it a little bit. I'm gonna get something like a black leather cover. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get this rest of this put back together. Oh, there's screws. I was trying to figure out how to get this in here. I'm like, what is this the right? I mean, these all came together. This has got to be the right part, but obviously there's no places for this, and this doesn't quite fit in there. I was like, oh, it needs to come in from the underside. So I put it in from the underside. I was like, oh, it's still not working. The reason is there's screws. The guy, I guess, screwed them in there so I wouldn't lose them. That's nice of him. Yeah, so let's just do that real quick. Well, it's plugged in, so. All right, so we got the center console in. I couldn't show you how to take it off because I didn't have one, so I'll show you how to put it in. Slide over your trunk release, and you've got a screw here, screw here, screw here. There's a plug under here that goes up from underneath. You got a screw here, and one on the other side. And then the whole thing just lifts off. For the tombstone, the best thing to do is take a flathead screwdriver, put it in the center ring, pop the eyes out. There's 2 screws there. You pull it out, and then the whole thing comes off. Oh, well, there's a plug here, so don't yank on it too hard. All right, so it looks a lot better. That's really nice. I've got a couple problems that still need to be sorted. First of all, my shift knob is broken because those threads were attached to the thing. Second, the shifter still needs to be rebuilt. Third, I got no bracket or anything holding this in place, so I'm probably gonna just have to get some duct tape, and that's gonna be nice. Fourth, this guy does not clear the plastic behind this rubber. So I'm either gonna have to cut the plastic away, figure out what's going on with the switch. Probably what I'll do is I'll cut the plastic away. I think that's gonna be the easiest option. You can't see it anyway, so that's honestly what I'm gonna do. Not terribly happy with the condition of this part. It's all scratched up. I might be able to get cleaned up a little bit. Probably just end up replacing it with something different later on. Shift boot came out nice. This still needs to be replaced. Got a new shift boot. The e-brake boot came out nice. I've got a new shift boot coming in the mail. I'm gonna run an auto box today and just pick up a random gear knob. Okay. All right, so that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and get this cleaned up and get ready to go. All the electricals work. I went ahead and installed my extender so that I can shift faster and more comfortably. I have a new shift boot coming, and I need to figure out what's going on with this plug here. But other than that, it looks a lot better. It almost looks like you want to be inside this car now, so that's nice. I got an appointment for the paint shop, so that's gonna get done, but it's gonna be a bit of a wait. So I'm gonna be doing some other stuff while I wait for that to happen. Hopefully I can get a lot of this done before the baby comes in 2 weeks.